Hi students, in our last video we have discussed about the behavior of aggregate demand curve and aggregate demand schedule. Now we are discussing about aggregate supply. Aggregate supply, first of all we can define what is aggregate supply. Aggregate supply refers to the total flow of goods and services. Here you have to know total flow of goods and services as planned by the producer. During an accounting year. So we can say aggregate supply is also a flow concept. It is identical with the flow of income during an accounting year. So aggregate supply in an economic system is identical to the level of income or flow of income. That is Y equal AS. This definition offers some observation. Yes, there is a relationship between income level and aggregate supply. Aggregate supply is identical to the level of income. Because you students know, when we produce goods and services in our economic system, that implies value addition. Value addition implies level of income. Level of income implies aggregate supply. So, we can conclude that aggregate supply is identical to level of income in the economic system. You can see here aggregate supply schedule and aggregate supply curve. Aggregate supply schedule shows the relation of income and total supply. Both are identical. You can see it starts from 0, 20 to 120 and supply also start from 0 to 120. As we discussed, aggregate supply and income level are identical. It starts from 0 to 120 and here also it starts from 0 to 120. Now diagrammatic presentation. Here x-axis shows total level of income, it starts from 0 and y-axis shows aggregate supply. 45-degree line is line of reference shown as income level. Now aggregate supply is a flow concept and you students know it is identical because there is excess capacity. Producers are ready to supply all that they wish to produce because of excess capacity. Excess capacity is one of the important assumptions of Keynesian economics. Excess capacity or unutilized capacity. Students, income and aggregate supply level are identical because of the excess capacity in the economic system. Keynes made this assumption, excess capacity, because he was dealing with severe unemployment economics during the time of Great Depression. So, lack of demand leads to excess capacity or unutilized capacity. That's the reason why income level and aggregate supply are identical. You students know both are identical. That means income and supply are identical because of excess capacity in the economic system. Excess capacity is there because Keynes made this assumption of excess capacity because Keynes was dealing with severe unemployment economics during the time of Great Depression. So it is true only when there is excess capacity or unutilized capacity. So this is the diagrammatic presentation of aggregate supply curve.